Hi, my name's Scott Coon. You may know me from my short stories or from my debut novel, Lost Helix. In this video, I share a little on writing. The query letter is basically broken up into three parts: the hook, the book, and the cook. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the hook, also known as the logline. What I'm bringing to you today, it comes through me from conventions that I've gone to and through videos that I've listened to from other agents. So this is a culmination of what I have learned about query letters and how to connect with agents and what agents want to see in your query letter. Agents are people, and they're people with a job, and their job entails going through a giant pile of submissions. And the first thing they're going to look at is your logline. If it doesn't tell them anything about your book, if it doesn't tell them anything, if it doesn't inspire them, then they're just going to move on to the next item in their giant pile of submissions. What you want to do is get them to stop at your submission and read the rest of your letter, and then read the intro of your book and discover that you're somebody who they want to work with. And they're not going to do that if your logline is bad. Logline can also help you from the beginning to the end of your writing process. You can use it like a mission statement so that you know that your novel is staying on track. This is what you wanted to write about. This was your goal in writing this whole novel. And if you drift too far away from it, you could drift away from the purpose of your novel and end up with something ambling that nobody wants to read. Your logline is also something that you memorize before you go out to a convention or meet with an agent or a publisher, so that you can use that as your initial pitch for your book. In addition to knowing your logline, you should be able to talk about your novel fluidly. You should know it inside and out and be able to answer questions about all the characters, the settings, and the themes within it. Your logline should be no more than 2 sentences and no more than 50 words, preferably less. To find your logline, first ask yourself, what is the core of my story? This is the hardest part because your story is going to be complicated and nuanced with lots and lots of layers to it. But you have less than 50 words to sum it all up. This is part of why it's good to write it at the beginning before you've been deep inside your novel for so long that you've lost sight of what the core of it was. You're too busy looking at all the parts that you've built around it. To write a good logline, there are some simple principles to follow. A bad logline will be too plain. It will be too complicated or verbose. Does not describe the arc of the story. Holds back the surprise. A good logline has irony, creates a compelling visual picture, contains the full arc of the story, implies who the audience would be, establishes background or premise, describes the inciting incident, includes conflict that prevents the goal from being reached, explains what is at stake, and gives away the ending. It is very important in your cover letter, and preferably in your logline if you can fit it in there, to give away the ending. A lot of writers think you should hold back the ending. They want to know the ending. They want spoilers. They want to know what your book's about. Publishers and agents are professionals. You're not going to ruin your book for them by giving away the ending. You're going to ruin your query letter by not giving away the ending. A basic formula for a logline would be an interesting, flawed, strong adjective here. Character does the thing, goes to the place, in hopes of intended goal, and ultimately learns, discovers, becomes, overthrows unintended goal. In this formula, a good adjective for your character is critical. We should have a clear idea of what sort of protagonists we'll be following and what we can expect to happen to them. Another approach is the same but different formula. Comparing your book to a known bestseller proves that there's a market for your work. But you also have to show that you've done something different with the idea, not just created a knockoff of the original. Some successful examples would be, just like J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, only based on The War of the Roses. Just like Jane Austen's Emma, only set in Beverly Hills. Another formula for your logline is the X meets Y formula. Describing your story as X meets Y works well when your story is a new twist on an old favorite or a mashup of two genres, ideas, or characters. Successful examples include Abraham Lincoln meets vampires, Handmaid's Tale meets The Hunger Games. Another option is the Only Trouble Is formula. Here you use your protagonist's main problem to highlight what is unique about your book. Some successful examples include a young man meets the girl of his dreams. The trouble is, she's a fish. A newly crowned king must comfort his people during a troubling time. The only problem is, he stutters very badly. So those are some ideas on how you can approach your logline. Remember, this is the first and possibly the only thing that an agent or publisher will read of your entire submission package. If it's bad, it will be the only thing. If it's good, they'll keep reading. So make sure that this logline draws them in. Be the person that they want to work with and want to publish. For more on this and other writing subjects, check out my On Writing page at scottcoonscifi.com. Also, check out losthelix.com to learn more about my debut novel, Lost Helix. Thank you.